It's 20 to 4. Good afternoon. Diana Vickers, by the way, was on X Factor. She is a British singer and sometimes a stage actress. Very interesting. Now, we have got this wonderful book. It's called Complementary Therapies for Cancer. It's written by Professor Sean Holt. And I was just looking through it. It's a very handy book, and I've got him on the line right now. Hello, Sean. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thanks. And thanks for asking me onto your show.
Not a problem. It is a very handy book. I mean, there's something in there for everyone, I think.
Well, for people with cancer or people who have, friends or relatives with cancer, all humility aside, I didn't think there was a good book on complementary therapies. And there's a lot of bad information out there, yet just about everyone with cancer, quite rightly, will think about or try complementary therapies to help themselves.
That's right. Now, going on to the complementary therapies thing, you say that it's not alternative, it's complementary. What's the difference?
Yeah, it's a bit of a technicality, but alternative is when you stop your medical treatment and you take natural remedies instead. Mm-hmm. Complementary means that you take them alongside with. So they complement, so they help what your medical treatment is. And that's very important. People really, really shouldn't ditch the medical treatment. It's things that can help in addition that maybe the hospital doctors aren't, fully aware of.
Absolutely. So how long did it take you to actually research everything and put the book together?
Probably the best part of last year.
Wow.
And however, I think you've got a copy there. It's quite a small book, and I did it on purpose. I didn't want to do a massive encyclopedia to put people off. I could have done that. There's massive. So, I think part of the challenge I had was summarising it into, about 150 pages or so, and also put it in language that anyone could understand. So that's what I've tried to do.
That's right. I mean, looking through it, it's all very well, and you've got one chapter that says what works and one after it that says what doesn't work. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't get more easy than that.
Yeah, and also a couple of chapters sort of explaining how I've come to this decision. It's not just me sitting here mouthing off saying this works, this doesn't. And in some ways it's not even my opinions, it's what the medical research is telling me. So I've just looked at all the research and interpreted it and written the book.
Absolutely, because you hear about so many alternative and complementary, therapies to cancer, and you think, well, that sounds really good, but, there's so many of them out there, it's so nice to have them all in a guide.
Well, there are hundreds out there. I've narrowed it down to only 20 that I think are going to help people. But the problem really is information. How do you find those 20? Now, there are millions, literally, of websites on cancer and complementary therapies, and probably 99.99% are absolute garbage. Same for books. There's so many books out there, and they're just nonsense. So, most people, I think, they want to know what works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially people with cancer who are vulnerable, who may be short of time or money, and they want to, spend those wisely.
That's right. What inspired you to start writing it in the first place?
Well, I got into looking at the research of complementary therapies around 4 years ago when I had to write a newsletter on it. Now, I was firmly a skeptic. I was literally a member of the Skeptic Society, and I thought all these complementary things were ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think I would rather have written a regular column on handbags for Cosmopolitan magazine than write on evidence-based natural health. Yeah. But when I got into it, I found that actually I was right. Most of it is absolute nonsense, but hidden in there were some really good, well-researched, helpful products.
Wonderful. Now, I just want to say as well, if anyone's got any questions for Sean, feel free to give me a call right now on 0800 TimesFM. And I've also got a couple of books to give away as well, so give me a call on 0800 TimesFM, and that's it, basically. They're all yours. Sean, thank you so much for talking to us today. Just one more question. Overall, what do you think the biggest thing for a cancer sufferer to remember is?
Look, I mean, the main thing is that you do, whatever your hospital doctor and specialist recommends. But in addition, there's probably complementary things like acupuncture and ginger and honey, etc. That most doctors just aren't trained in, and they probably won't be able to advise you on them. So that's why I've put this guide together. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Fantastic. So that's available now in all good bookstores, or you can win a copy from me right now, 0800 TimesFM, if you'd like to win that. Sean, thank you so much for talking to us this afternoon.
My pleasure.
And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
And you.
Youth Group coming up next.
Here we go. Yeah!